Did I know I wanted more in this series? No. Am I mad about it? No. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Hi guys, it's April, and I'm gonna do this review the same way I do all of my other reviews. I'm gonna have the non-spoiler section up front, followed by the non-spoiler section after that. Of course, I will let you know when that transition happens in case you don't want to spoil yourself, but otherwise, feel free to stick around. I won't judge you. Do what you're gonna do because I'm just glad you're here. Now, I will say that since this is a prequel to a series that is already out, there will be some minor spoilers in this review, but I don't think it'll be too heavy on the spoilers, but know that going in. So, Memento, the short story by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff that is set in the Illuminae files universe. This is a precursor to those 3 books. This story takes a look at how Aiden became the Aiden we knew in the series. Aiden is the AI in the Alexander. If you have read any of the Illuminae series, you will know he played a pivotal role in a lot of things that happened within the series. Aiden is probably by far one of my favorite personalities. There's just something so quirky about him. So the fact that we got a prequel that kind of dives a little deeper into Aiden's past and how he was before and after the Krenza attack and why things started to kind of flip the way they did, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, part of my enjoyment of Aiden is because of how it looks at what it means to be human. Because he is an AI, but he starts to have some of these moments where you become kind of attached to him, but you also have these moments of, what? Now, this isn't something new in the sci-fi genre. Of course, if you've ever heard of an AI named Hal, you know what I'm talking about. So this isn't a new concept by any means, and this prequel isn't even a long story. It's about 80 some pages, it's a novella, but it is still told in the same style as the rest of the Illuminae files. You have snippets of conversations that Aiden has recorded, you have emails back and forth, you have instant messages back and forth, that kind of deal, and of course, video and all that kind of. The whole point of this series is that it's a collection of files that you are going through and learning from. I enjoyed this little novella. It's a little bittersweet. It has some very hard moments to get through. It has a love story. It has utter destruction, and you get to see hints of the characters you will later interact with in the Illuminae files. So I quite enjoyed it. I didn't know I wanted this story. I'm glad that I read it because it makes me want to go back and read the whole Illuminae files series. And I might just do that because I'm giving myself permission to read what calls to me this year. And I think I might go back and read this. So if you have read the Illuminae files, you really want to read this novella. It's beautiful in its short little format. And I love seeing the background of Aiden. There's just something about that AI and self-awareness and that kind of stuff. But I am also a complete sci-fi nerd. I am a computer nerd. I'm a technology nerd. So this is kind of just right up my alley. But this is the point in which I'm going to start going into some spoiled-filled stuff. So if you don't want to be spoiled for the rest of this short story, I advise you to go read it because, yes, go read it. Let me know that you're going to go read it and then come back and we'll start a conversation. I didn't quite know what I was getting into when I started reading this novella. I went into it not remembering what this prequel was supposed to be covering. I kind of like going into short stories like this kind of blind because the synopsis can give a lot away and I didn't want to really know. I knew it was a prequel, and when I started seeing Aiden, it all started like coming back together. Of course, we begin with Private Klein and Major Wolf, our 2 love interests in this story, and their story is just devastating because you're left wondering if Aiden killed them intentionally and if part of it was even Klein's fault, because she started to interact with him in a way that made him question what morality really was and what it actually means. And a few deaths to save the many might be warranted. Otherwise, that wouldn't even be in his realm of programming. So you gotta kind of wonder if Klein hadn't had the conversations that she did, if Wolf and Klein would still be alive. But then we also wouldn't necessarily have gotten a lot of the things that happened in the Illuminae files and the choices that Aiden made there. We still probably would have had some self-awareness, except for, I don't know if Aiden would have started using I instead of Aiden. Because some of those conversations with Klein were very much mixed up in a sense of what is a living being. And that tied into morality and making those kind of choices and what all of that meant. So it's kind of hard to separate those two, because we probably would have had a vastly different outcome if Aiden hadn't become as self-aware as he did. But at the same time, would more or less people be alive? And I think that's why I liked this short story. It plays with, well, this is what happened, and makes you start to think about the what ifs, because you did lose two of these characters that you had started to root for at the beginning of this short story. And they very rapidly got taken from you, possibly from an entity that you have come to very much enjoy if you've read the Illuminae files before this. Yeah. It just, I mean, I don't think it changes my perspective of Aiden, because part of me understands why he would have done what he did. Doesn't necessarily justify it in my mind. No. But just how would everything be different? And I really like this format in general. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this beautiful novella. I'm definitely probably going to do a reread of the whole series now, because I just have to. This got me in the mood, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all. Of course, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below, hit that bell, do all of those things to get all of those notifications. And I hurt you, beautiful faces. Bye.